Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Sewcialite Quilt Along. This Sewcialites Quilt Along was created by Fat Quarter Shop, and there are 3 different sizes you can do and quilt along with me. We have a 3-inch block, a 6-inch block, and a 9-inch block. I'm doing the 6-inch block. And this week we are on number 16, the Friendship block, designed by Carrie Nielsen. And I will tell you what I have cut for this block. I have 3 different sizes for the background color, and I've labeled them A, B, and C. And the first one is 1 3-inch square, labeled A. The next one is 3 2.5-inch squares, labeled B. And the third background is 1.5-inch squares, labeled C, and I've cut out 16 of those. For the printed fabrics, I have 1 3-inch square, labeled D, and for the second printed fabric, I have 8 of these, and they are rectangles, and they are 1.5 inch by 2.5 inch, and it is labeled E. The first step, we are going to draw diagonal line for the background color C from corner to opposite corner, and I've drawn a line here, as you can see, and we are going to be sewing together flying geese units, and we need to make 8 of these. So draw a line on all 16, which I've done here, of your background color labeled C, and then your fabric pieces labeled E. In the printed fabric, you are going to take one of these and one of these, and right sides together, you are going to place it right like this, and then you are going to sew along the line you've just drawn. And you should then have a piece that looks like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take another C and then you're going to put it in this corner. You are going to sew from corner to corner where you drew the line, and you should end up with your flying geese. And you will need 8 of these, so do all 8, come back, and we will do the next step. Okay, the next unit we are going to be doing is called the double flying geese unit, and what you need to do is take your 2 flying geese and set them like this, and then flip it over just like this. And then you're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam. I usually try and flip it over to this side so that I can see the point and sew along so that I don't cut off that point. And there we go, just like that. You should come out with 4 double flying geese, which I have right here. So I'm just going to finish doing this and then come back and show you the next step. I have sewn together my 4 double flying geese units, and I'm gonna put them aside. I just wanted to also mention, don't forget, cut a 1/4 inch seam and iron your seams open, okay? Next is fabric A, the 3-inch square, and fabric D, 1 of each 3-inch square, your printed fabric and your background fabric. And then you are going to flip your background fabric over and draw in the center, and then a 1/4 inch from the center diagonal line to sew along that line, and then the center line you are going to cut. So I'm just going to take these off like this. And I'm gonna do right sides facing each other, just like that. And then what I'm gonna do is sew along each of these lines, these 2 outer lines, and then I'm gonna cut in between, and that will give us 2 half square triangle units, which we need. I'm gonna do this and I will be back. I have my half square triangles sewn together, cut 1/4 inch seam, seams pressed open. Now our next step is to assemble the top and the bottom row. So we're going to take 2 of the background fabrics labeled B, and then we will do this and this and this. There we go. That's the way these rows are going to be sewn together. So what I'm going to do is put them right sides together. This and this, chain piece them. I'm going to flip it over so I can see the point on my flying geese. Make sure I have my needle when I'm sewing my 1/4 inch seam. Get it to hit that point so that I don't lose it. All right, I'm going to sew these rows together. So once this is sewn, I will then just finger press it open and then sew fabric B this way. And then I will be back. All right, I have the top and the bottom row sewn together. I'm gonna set this aside and I'm gonna take the last 2 flying geese as well as the last background fabric B, and then we are going to put 1 double flying geese like this and 1 double flying geese like this. And we're going to do the exact same thing as we did for the top and the bottom row. I will sew that together, 1/4 inch seam, and then I will press open my seams. And then we will assemble the block. Okay, I have all my rows sewn together, and this is how the top row, the middle row, and the bottom row are laid out. Now all I'm gonna do is put the top row to the middle row, and I'm going to pin at the seams here so they hopefully line up. Then I will press it open and then take the bottom to the middle and do the exact same with this, pin at the seams and then press it open. And when I return, we will have the finished friendship block. And here we have the finished friendship block designed by Carrie Nielsen, and it should roughly measure 6.5 inch by 6.5 inch square. Please join me next week as we continue our Sewcialite Quilt along, which you can find at fatquartershop.com. The PDF, which you can download for free, I have left the link in the description below. So please join me and let's quilt along together. So number 17, piece block, designed by Ann Sutton, will be next week's block. And what you will need for the 6-inch block is 2 background pieces cut. So you'll need 2 3-inch squares and 1 2.5-inch squares. And for the printed fabric, you will need 2 3-inch squares and 4 2.5-inch squares. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it, all of you. And I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful quilt day. Bye.